Okay. Let's try this shit. Okay, I think we are working. I hope.
Local recording stopped.
Okay, we have a view. Nice. So I wanted to just do a quick recap because I don't think I'm gonna do too much more today of trades I took, what I shared, the time I shared it, how I shared it, and sort of what we're expecting the rest of this week, and also, you know, a little bit about what's going on in the AI space because, as you guys know, I actually invented AI, so I know a lot about it. So I'm gonna fucking talk about it, and I'm pissing puke out of my mouth as we speak. So let's go. Um, right now, the only thing I'm really sort of on top of my head, I have this oil short going. I got the first take profits here, and you can see the timestamp that I shared it on in this section here, where I went short 10:28 a.m. So this would be relative to Central European time, but whatever translates to your time. And here we are. That doesn't look right. I think that was the first trade. Flipping longs, so then I went long. We took profits on that, okay, and then we shared long-term shorts over here, going on oil here if possible, and we shared the trade. That's better. So that's where we got in at exactly at this price, which at Central European time was 3:35 p.m., which is 9:35 New York time. And we got a 50% take profit on that here, and we are holding this probably into tomorrow. And the reason for that is, if you guys have not seen this little thing here, then we have Wednesday and Tuesday, and crude oil inventories is of course a thing, but the heavy hitters are, for the markets in general, the federal funds rate and PCE, core PCE price index, and I think that one's pretty good too. And for the equities markets, we have a variety of earnings that are sort of ironically timed amidst the spawn of that, which is a $6 million cheap Chinese large language model slash chat GPT. So that will be interesting and very interesting for the equities market. But my point is, I'm holding this for the rest as a day trade because I'm gonna go shit the bed soon after this little stream here. And I don't think oil is gonna be as sensitive to the rest of the news here post the crude oil inventories. So as a class, that's not super nice necessarily all the time. I do like trading it, but it's not that reactive to some of these heavy hitting events that comes out with the monthly economic report. And zooming out a little bit, I'm sort of just looking at a bearish move. And if you watch some of my previous videos, I've been trying to find a buy inside of this area here. But sort of with what happened and with my last night's video, you can see that I turned bearish, and I have been looking for setups that would yield a return on the bearish side since then. So that would be the previous video for oil, and this covers the trade that I shared now on my blog. I have this little Substack. This is substack.com, and if you look up my YouTube and Twitch channel descriptions, you can find that. But that would be this link here if you want to check out more of my content. So this would be theobionte.substack.com. I have a little disclaimer and other stuff here going on. And I share all of my trades like this. So I put them on my blog like this with the timestamp recorded, kind of like putting them on Twitter or whatever. So we took I have a short-term and long-term section here. And the just short, if I expect the targets or stop loss to hit today, it's a short-term trade. If not, it's a long-term. So that's it, right? And today is the 28th, so we had a small stop loss first, which I then flipped into a long. Now we are short again with the remainder of the oil trades to be seen. I had the NASDAQ recorded for a longer term trade, but I wasn't too excited going into it, to be honest. And I was managing it personally with take profits inside of the range of these two first trades here. I wasn't expecting us to get down here today necessarily, and I will talk a little bit about that. But I did not have the time to update that, so I only had the stop loss moved, and you can see in my index short-term section, I moved my stops to slightly above. That doesn't look right. Yeah, so I moved my stop loss here to slightly above the entry after reaching the first take profit. So I didn't get to call that I managed it differently, so we lock the trade as it is here. So all things considered here, we are looking good. So all things considered, we are looking just fine, even on oil here. So let's take a little bit look at the markets that I normally follow from sort of a top-down perspective here. I have the TVC data here for the DXY. Let's check that with Capital.com real quick. A little bit more of a hole here from the 1 hour skewed data here on the dollar index compared to otherwise. But as you guys know, you guys can sort of watch all of my videos, so I will just say this real quick. I was bullish on this up move here, and I was bearish from around here to here, and here we are. And I'm looking for what would be so I'm just reaching some alarms here for oil. We're gonna move the stop loss here now. Don't think we have to go above here now. And I'll just leave this as it is. Not sure I'll hold these two here, but I'm definitely aiming for this for the rest of today. Maybe I'll just adjust it a little bit like that. I'm definitely aiming for this one as well. For this take profit here. Okay, going back to the dollar here. So, we are in a situation where it's a little difficult for me to just look at what this is gonna do. But I'm generally longer term bullish on the dollar. I'm not buying into all this like China's taking over America, all this shit, and I don't think people are respecting Trump on his so-called threats. Because as long as Trump is in office, he's not going to let anything happen to the dollar. I mean, I'm not going to say that the dollar is, going to fucking fly or something like that. Yeah, and the truth is, I don't know anything. But as far as I'm concerned, if there's going to be a period where the dollar is going to be allowed to sort of shrine a bit against this growing sentiment that is heavily against the dollar, and it just feels like a lot of news are popping out everywhere, your BRICS nation here and there, oh my god, 20 new countries are cutting off the dollar and shit like that. Fucking Europe threatening with new tariffs and things like that. I just look at all of that and then I'm thinking, how does that price in with how the dollar is looking like? And then I just favor what I can see here. And I don't see a dollar that's collapsing as we speak right now. I think I'm seeing a pretty healthy fucking dollar. I don't fucking know shit, but that's what I'm seeing. So it did what I wanted short term. It came from here to here. And now I'm just sort of observing the possibility of a move higher. So it's with a gray arrow, which is a 50-60% probability arrow. Let's just see if I can put that there. So it's pretty neutral, right? Of course, I would not draw anything, which I think is less than 50%, right? Because there's no edge in that. So that's basically it. If we take the euro, we have a little bit of a similar consideration to it. I do believe that it is going to start seeking lower, and I like something like that for the pound as well. We might not need to come all the way up here, which I originally thought. We might have solidified a high here, but I don't know. And I need to watch it a little bit more, and I'm definitely not interested in looking for trades right here until we get the Jerome Powell shenanigans over with tomorrow. So euro pound. We have this arrow. So if you watch my videos, I've been calling for a top up here on the euro pound, and we've sort of hit that here with this arrow I have saved for that purpose. 50-60% probability here. And I don't really know what it's going to do now. So I'm just neutral. I'm just going to fucking remove this. I mean, I could need to take a little bit deeper look into it and try and force an idea, but there's no quick idea that tells me this needs to go any particular direction here, which tells us that we could see euro and the pound move a little bit more together. And short term, that might make sense considering the absolute tight pack of news events we've scheduled for the rest of the week. So that's something I'm keeping in mind as well. And if we do move over to gold, we have a trade that I shared. And this is an orange arrow. So that's 60-70% probability. Although I took 2 entries, so I'm a little bit lower leverage on this. And, I felt the confidence was higher. But I went lower risk anyway because I wanted to sort of focus on trading the other markets. But all of this like peace deal in Israel and all of that stuff, like it's a, should I say, war de-escalation. But I do think now that we shift the perspective of the fundamentals a little bit of active war and more over to the thing that tangents hybrid warfare, you can say that the Sputnik moment, as the media calls it, DeepSeek, what a name, by the way, it's a weird name. DeepSeek, it's a bit of like it causes me to be bullish on this metal, just based on a gut feel really. But it's a thing where I find these AI developments to cause a lot of uncertainty, and it's something that's very sort of floating in the sort of uncanny valley of being kind of hybrid warfare / not, and just a simple regular international technological competition environment, right? But to Trump and the Silicon Valley, they're not interested in this being taken over, right? Like America's going to really heavily rely on the dominance of AI right now. I mean, basically the S&P 500 right now is S&P 7. The Nvidia's fucking market cap, right, is completely preposterous, right? Unless you think AI is not overvalued, right? But that aside, so a little bit of uncertainty, but I liked what it did. Came a bit lower down here, and I thought that was the time to buy, so I went in. And in case you guys want to see, I have the long taken here, and I shared it in the chat at the time. So that's the time, the screenshot, And as you guys can see over here, we have to find long-term metals section, and I am long the gold. Da! And truth behold, you found the same trade. So that's a verified trade entry in my book. And if you guys like the idea too, then maybe we will write this together. I have no fucking idea. So there's that for you. We talked a bit about oil, and let's see what we get. I think we should see the last spike lower, preferably around here, just from what I quickly glance. Just from what I quickly glance here. Yeah, I would like just a continuation lower here, preferably. Okay, so leaving that, I want to talk a bit about coffee as well, in case I have someone watching this. I might not. In case I do have someone watching this live with me, let's talk about some fucking coffee. Speaking of which, I need it. Oh, what a bullish motherfucker, honestly. Like, who the fuck is Bitcoin? You would probably have to go to, I'm just deleting this because I've taken my profits here. I have some, it's very old. I have the last position of my coffee trade running here. You know, I can't go and show all my trades all the time, every time I'm streaming, but I'm just doing it a little bit here. And by the way, I'm also long-term short on a longer term account on equities here, by the way, just so you know. And damn, so I've been bullish on this market for how long? For how fucking long? Let me just go back. You have to scroll through my blog for the last 6 months, but I've been waiting for this market to pump from around down here. I didn't trade it as perfectly, right? So, but this was a nice entry. I had an entry already here to here. And then I got a re-entry somewhere here, and I think this is did you guys see Coco? Yeah, me neither. Wow. I feel potential for something similar happening here. Let's just put it like that. But I'm not holding for 500 plus. But you know, it's not. I don't know. But you know, if I'm blessed by God, then God is speaking to me, okay, and it says we're going up, okay. So there's that little funny drawing I have over here. Let's remove it. So this is the continuous chart, and the nearby contract doesn't show the all-time high being taken, but that's a 50-year consolidation. And that, to me, is interesting to be looking at of all of these commodities. I haven't checked these for some time now, but I still think coffee of these futures commodities, they are the ones that, this is the one that I am interested in watching. And let's, before I just go back to equities, let me just go through Bitcoin. So this guy is I'm still seeing potential for it to go lower. Yeah, I'm waiting for that to happen. Could happen tomorrow. It feels like we're kind of stuck. We're not gonna come up here or down here on Ethereum until after the interest rates, and I think this one is gonna be very, very sensitive this time, because crypto might not necessarily always be super sensitive to these economic news drivers, but we have basically Bitcoin under this massive illusion that it's its own asset class, which I guess it is, but it has a very profound and very funny tendency to collapse whenever Nasdaq is collapsing. So it's basically just a high beta tech stock, which has no dividends or doesn't really create jobs, right? And the tokenomics are interesting and the fundamentals are interesting, but that's, you know, I talked about that. You can find my videos on my blog where I talk about crypto and fundamentals there, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I think Bitcoin looks stronger, but I think the weakness of Ethereum, I think will drag shit lower, and I still like potentially seeing some kind of move down here, but it's very 50-50 at this stage. But I'm just watching that primarily. to not pick, you know, two sides of predictions here. So equities, like I said, I have a longer term trade that's positioned like this. I am absolutely willing to take this drawdown here. It's a little wide, but I'm taking it. And all of these arrows here, you would have to watch my yesterday video. So we don't really need to sit on ES. Let's sit on NASDAQ. Let's quickly touch on Dow. So in the previous video, 2 videos actually, I mentioned when we were down here that we could come up. I didn't buy it, but I favored the strength in Dow Jones at the time. And as I was talking about it with the paid subscribers in my blog section, I was actually engaged in the bullish bias on Dow and a negative bias on NASDAQ at the same time, which was nice to see when these markets decouple and you can kind of engage in those two opposite sides of the same correlated asset class at the same time. I liked the outcome of that. Now I think it's stretching a little bit higher and I'm a little bit more unsure what it wants to do now. I prefer it would already have been on the way lower here today, which was originally, which takes me to NASDAQ, one of the thought processes that led me to have a longer term short setup on NASDAQ. But I also knew that we have earnings. We have a shitload of sensitivity on the heels of a, you know, black swan-ish Monday overnight collapse, which inevitably leads to a Tuesday nothing burger of a range and back and forth, of course. There are other words to describe these phenomena, but I invent my own, if you don't mind. So I call this a nothing burger range, and this is a big fry range. Okay, I invent new words every day, and they interchange, and so be it. So I decided to cut down here. One, because of some things I saw across the markets, that was time, and also the fact that, you know, we had large day here with a sentiment that's been built around the DeepSeek AI shenanigans and a lot of uncertainty there, including but not limited to the fact that we have big news tomorrow, by the way, of the Fed releasing funny rates and shit. But that's not just it. We are concerned with earnings and we are concerned with the PCE report. Let me just fucking double check one time that the earnings that we have, because I don't remember if we have Nvidia. We have Microsoft, so that's very, and Meta and Tesla. We have the whole fucking thing tomorrow, which is actually gonna make so if you're trading the post-mortem of the release of the Fed, be mindful that it might not be as clean, given we have a colossal earnings report coming out Wednesday, and then Apple Thursday. Okay, there's no Nvidia, so that would have been interesting. But we do have a lot of AI sensitive earnings releases here, and what's my prediction for that? I don't know. Ask someone smarter than me, to be honest. But if I had to guess, it's gonna be negative. There's gonna be something negative coming. And I read some things about Tesla sales and people are now boycotting Elon Musk and stuff, and I have a feeling that there's gonna be a story about falls in Tesla vehicle sales and shit, because Elon Musk is a Nazi and working for a Nazi government in the United States, and it's by his advocacy that we're gonna invade Greenland and all that shit. So, but I don't really know based on any of that what's gonna happen. But my gut feeling here tells me we'll see something negative at or before the earnings tomorrow. Thursday, Friday, I'm more excited to be trading again. So I'll probably do a stream tomorrow as well. So thanks for watching and cheers to those who are with me here. Oh, let me just check some questions in the chat. Do you have to pay for the cocoa and coffee data? Hi, by the way, from AGS. Welcome. Yes, you have to pay for a separate data feed. If you look at what I am doing here, I do have a different terminal where I can get the data feed live. So I'm not too concerned with having the all of these that says D. You see that's delayed data, so that's a 10-minute delay. But I am not really speculating these too much for intraday trading, so I'm not too concerned with a 10-minute delay in my trading. But with terminals, when I'm executing on futures and whatnot, I can always get the live data there for executionary purposes. But my fine tuning rarely drills down to the baby time frames to fine tune on these markets. Although I actually really do like these markets, coffee, cocoa, they're great. They're great. I'm personally only really watching a coffee at the moment, and as you can see, I don't really mind on a 1 hour chart with a stop this wide with an entry here. I don't really mind. Excuse me, a 10-minute delay. So there's that. Let me just quickly check if there's a question on Twitch. Not from what I can see. And if there's any more questions, let me just quickly go to the bathroom and I can quickly run through that. And then feel free to ask. By the way, I'm not, when you answering questions and stuff, don't treat me as an authority. I just look at markets, and I do not consider myself like someone's like fucking streaming to teach and pay me subscriptions because you're learning something or whatever. Maybe I'm doing something or speaking in a way or taking notes in a way or something that you like, and you're just following along for that. So that's kind of my goal. And if I can clout chase a little bit with that, and if someone really thinks what I'm doing is amazing and they want to subscribe to my content and they want to see my live trades all the time and all of that stuff, they can do that too. And that's why I have the blog running. And I'm trying to keep my engagement with the process of sharing my trading endeavor and journals with the public to a pretty minimum effort. But I like to think that all of these videos and recordings and journal entries that I'm doing act as a powerful journaling tool for me that will secure my own calamity and awareness of what kind of trading that I am performing. So, well, you're very much welcome, sir, or lady. Making no presumptions of gender here, but you're very much welcome, person. Ah. So I'll be right back. 2 minutes. If there's any last questions you have, please think of something now. Back. Okay. I'm back. No new questions. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Then I'll probably have a little bit of a session tomorrow as well. Let's quickly check what I had open here. Let's check Nasdaq again. Just quickly check what they are doing. Yes, I do have, by the way, I do keep various drawings and indicators and stuff on other charts, but these are things I don't really stream and share publicly here, just if you're wondering. I definitely missed a long down here. Take profit somewhere around up here. I think this is interested in taking a turn lower at some point, but that's just on Nasdaq. I feel based on ES and Dow that we could be drawing a little bit higher, and this sort of kind of turn lower we did here. Yeah, it's not clear. I like gold going higher here. What's oil doing? Kind of pausing a little bit here. Let's hold that. Okay, now we're officially off. So cheers. Bye.